Right, okay, so let's get started. Uh, so we are going to looking at the tutorial on CVP analysis and the short-term decision making. So I thought of starting the question number one. It's a fundamental question, but it gives us a good starting point, especially it will expose you to the profit formula as well. Hence, I thought of discussing the question number one first. Right, let's say the Chandana PLC manufactures a product which has a selling price of rupees 14 and it's a mistake. Not 9 is not applicable. Variable cost of rupees 6 per unit. The selling price is 14 and the variable cost is 6 rupees. With an annual fixed cost of rupees 24,400. And also the annual demand is given as 8,000 units. So that is about the information in the first para. The second para, it says that a new production method is currently being considered for introduction. This will increase the fixed cost by 30%, but would reduce the variable cost to 5 per unit. The superior quality of the finished product would enable sales rise to 8,500 units per annum at a price of rupees 50. Okay, so that is the second half. Now they are considering about a new production method, and that will increase the fixed cost by 30%. And at the same time, so there's a good side of that, it will reduce your variable cost to rupees 5, from 6 rupees to 5 rupees. And also the superior quality had allowed you to sell the units at rupees 15, and at the same time, the demand is expected to go to 8,500 per unit. If you look at the requirement, first, calculate the break-even output level with the current production method is introduced. So under the current production method, you are supposed to calculate the break-even. So under the current production method, come up with the break-even. Then it asks if the envisaged production method is introduced, calculate the new break-even output. So under the new production method, again, you are supposed to calculate the break-even. And finally, at what levels of sales would the annual profit be same with both production methods? So then you are supposed to compare and see under which method, at what levels of activity or at what unit level the annual profit under two methods is equal. So මෙතන requirements තුනක් තියෙනවා පුතාලා. ඒතර පළවෙනි requirement එක තමයි එතනදී අහනවා දැන්ට පවත්නා production method එක යටතේ ගණනය කරන්න කියනවා break even එක. ඒත් එක්කම අලුතෙන් අඳුනලා දීමට අපේක්ෂා කරන production method එක යටතේ නැත්නම් new production method එක යටතේ break even output එක අහනවා. ඒ වගේම තමයි at what levels of sale would the annual profit be same with both production method? එතකොට sales කුමන මට්ටමකද මේ methods දෙක යටතේම profit equal profit එකක් ලබා ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඒක හා සමාන profit එකක් ලබා ගන්න පුළුවන් units level එක. මොකක්ද මේ methods දෙක යටතේ. කියන්නේ profit formulas compare කරන්න කියලා තමයි කියන්නේ. Okay. So just give it a try. So as usual, I would like to invite you to attempt this first. So maybe 5 to 7 minutes. So as soon as you work out the things, you can indicate the answer in the chat. Then depending on that, we can discuss it. Okay. You can start working on this question. So in the meantime, if you have any questions, yes, you can come up with that, right? Yes, so once you're done with the question, so please indicate your answer. Accordingly, we can discuss. Okay, it's 3050, maybe the answer for the first one. Okay, good. So similarly, answer for the part B and also the part C is expected. You can attempt them as well. Good, appreciate. Okay, good. So the one has attempted all. Good. You have done it nicely. Appreciated. Okay, so shall we start looking at this? Good. Think that almost all of you have done with the first part, obviously. So there you need to compute, if you look at the requirement, calculate the break-even output level with the current production method. It's about the output level. It's not the sales revenue, but the break-even point expressed in terms of units. Break-even point expressed in terms of units. And that's going to be 24,400 divided by 14 minus 6. 24,400 divided by 8. Yes, you are very correct. It is 3,050. So that is the answer for part A. Then for the part B, you would do the same. So depending on the new circumstances, the question says that the fixed cost will increase by 30%. So therefore, you would adjust that, taking the initial fixed cost and multiplying it by 1.3%. So that will include 30% increase. It becomes 31,720. So if you take this 31,720 and get them divided by the break-even, the contribution, it's going to be selling price 15, the new variable cost 5, so consequently it's 10. Hence, if you take that 31,720 divided by 10, yes, you are perfectly correct. It's 3,172. So that is the answer B. Moving on to the part C, there it asks you at what levels of sales, would the annual profit be same with both production method? At what levels of sales would the annual profit be same with both the production method? That's what it asks. Okay, let's look at. So here the easiest way is to compare the profit formula. So here you can take very easily. It's about the contribution per unit. You know the profit formula is going to be contribution per unit. It's 14 minus 6. It's 8. That is into number of units. Let's say it's Y, right? Number of units plus, then you need to take, minus the fixed production, the fixed cost, no, 24,400. So it is the contribution into number of units minus the fixed cost. That is your profit. And that must be equal to, under the other method, I think this is more representative, no? It's contribution per unit into the taking the formula is a little difficult, sorry for that. 24,400. Okay, that must be equal to, under the new method, how you take the profit, it is again the contribution. It's 15 minus 5, it's going to be 10. Let's say Z or something, minus 31,720. So this is the simple formula what you need to solve. So this is it. So this is the profit under the new production method. Under the current production method, this is the profit. So that is supposed to be equal. That's supposed to be equal. So consequently, if you apply the mathematics over there, you can see that it's going to be, sorry, here you are supposed to take the same, no? Must be the y, no? So otherwise it's not going to solve. Right. So it's 10y minus 8y. It's going to be 2y. It's 2y. And if you take 31,700 to the other side, it's going to be, how much is that? 31,720 minus 24,400. It gives you 7,320. So that is equal to 2y. So then you can easily figure out what is y, the number of units, and that is 7,320 divided by 2. It's going to be 3,660 units. Yes, the one who have attempted that, you have done it nicely. Good. At 3,660 unit, you may find that the profits are going to be equal under both production method, under the old one and as well as the new one. If you compare the profit, it's going to be equal. Here you can take 8 into 3,660 minus 24,400. Just to try that, right? This is a profit under the old method. So if you apply the same number of units to the new method, must be ended up with the same. Yes, that's it. So therefore we can accept the answer what we got is correct. So this is what we call a profit formula. It's simply the contribution per unit into the number of units minus the total fixed cost. And that's what gives you the profit. Okay, so comparatively very easy exercise, but still it adds some value. That's why I have selected the question. Okay, so let's take question number 2. Right, let's read that. Students Association of Faculty of Management Studies and Commerce expect to organize a 6-a-side cricket tournament next month. Okay, the objective of this tournament are to foster the harmony among students and raise funds for Students' Welfare Society. So that is driven by welfare purpose. Organizing committee of the tournament has agreed on the following decision. The winning team is to be awarded a cash prize of 3,000 and 4 bets. Runners-up is to be awarded a cash prize of 2,000 and 2 bets. Okay, those are the rewards. The winning team and the runners-up are getting the cash prize as well as some goods, so which is bets. The number of players per team should be 6. So there must be 6 members to the per team. To charge an entrance fee of rupees 1,600 from each team. So they have thought of charging an interest fee for each of this team of 1,600. Each member of a team is to be treated with refreshment which costs rupees 100 per person. So in සෑම පුද්ගලයෙක්ටම refreshments දෙන්න තීරණය කරාලු. එතකොට ඒකට cost එක යනවලු එක පුද්ගලයෙක්ට 100ක් විදිහට. The 2 umpires are to be engaged that will cost rupees 500 per person. එතකොට umpires ලා දෙන්නෙක් ගන්න ඕනේ. එතකොට එක umpire කෙනෙක්ට රුපියල් 500ක් දෙන්න ඕනේ දෛනික වේතනයක් වශයෙන්. Other information is given below. Cost of a bat is rupees 500. So there also, they gives us the cost of a bat because, you know, the price include several bats. The cost of sound system and other entertainment, rupees 750. So they have planned for some entertainment. So it cost them rupees 750. The cost of balls, wickets, and other equipment for players, rupees 1,000 250. You know, when it comes to event of that nature, you need to have the bats, the wickets, and also there may be some other equipment which are necessary, and that will cost you 1,250. The cost of posters and banners and other advertising, it cost them rupees 1,000. They have done some sort of advertising, and that came at a cost of 1,000 rupees. Okay, if the information as such, the requirement determine the minimum number of teams that the organizing committee should expect to reach their tournament at the break-even point. It asks us determine the minimum number of teams that the organizing committee should expect to reach their tournament at the break-even. Simply putting, what is the break-even number of teams? Then it asks, if it is expected that 25 teams will participate to the tournament, calculate the resulting surplus or deficit of the tournament. So what is going to be the profit or loss if the participation is 25 teams? And finally, it asks, one of the organizing committee members suggests that if they reduce the entrance fee from rupees 1,600 to 1,200, participating teams will increase to 35. Now they are thinking about different scenarios. One has come up with the suggestion that if the price, the entrance price is reduced from 1,600 to 1,200, it is expected that the number of teams that may participate would increase to 35. If there are no other impact resulting from this decision, do you recommend implementing his suggestion? Okay. Then it asks, what if scenario? Okay. So that is the requirement. So let us now look at that. Again, as usual, I would like to invite you. It's a kind of a case study type question. So you can take, say, 10 to 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes and work the things out. As soon as you do that, you can indicate the answers. Then depending on that, we can start the discussion. Okay, give it a try. Okay, good. It is appreciated. Just have one more look. Would like to suggest you. Just have one more look. Yes, okay, good. Sounds good, yeah. This can take 1 or 2 minutes, yes. Try to come up with a kind of answer. Would like to see more attempts, yeah. Let's take another 1 to 2 minutes, yes. Okay, so let us have a look at that. So those who have attempted, yes, do appreciate. So the winning team is to be awarded a cash prize of 3,004 bets. So, basically when it comes to this particular tournament, it's going to be a kind of a fixed cost. It's not a per head cost, but it's a fixed cost. So therefore, you try to take it, you can see, can work out the fixed cost. So you can see the winning team prices, So it is 3,000 cash prize plus per bet. It's 500. It costs you 500 into 4 bets. No? So it's 5,000. Similarly, the runners up. Runners up price. It's runners up price. So there they are allowing them or giving them 2,000 cash prize and 2 bets. 2,000 cash prize plus 2 bets. So this is it. And then what are the other fixed costs that you would find? The number of players per team is 6 to charge an entrance fee of 1,600. So therefore, when it comes to sales price, so if you are to apply the CVP, it's 1,600 per team. And each member of the team is to be treated with a refreshment which costs rupees 100 per person. It's a kind of a variable cost. No, it varies with the number of person. So if you consider a team, there basically you have 6 members. It's 100 into 6, so it's going to be 600. 2 umpires are to be engaged and it costs per person 500. So therefore it's 1,000. This is about the umpire charges, right? It's about umpire charges. Cost of a bat is 500 considered. Cost of the sound system, it's again fixed cost. Sound system, it's 750 or something. Then you have the cost of balls, wickets, and other equipment. Balls, wicket, and other equipment. It costs you 1,250. Cost of advertising, right? It had cost you 1,000. So consequently, now we have considered everything. Now you can work out what's going to be the break-even number of teams. It's 12,000 cost. If you work out the contribution per team, the answer for the first one, the fixed cost is going to be 12,000. It has to be divided by the contribution per team. It's 1,000. So consequently, you can see that there must be 12 teams. There must be 12 teams for the break even. Then it asks you the second requirement. If there are 25 teams, what is their profit or loss? If there are 25 teams, what is going to be the profit or loss? So it is quite obvious. The easiest way to get this is, once you exceed the break even, the contribution what you make is going to be your profit. break even එක අපි පසු කරාට පස්සේ අපි earn කරන contribution එක කියන්නේ අපි profit එක. So if it is 25 units, our break even occurs at 12 units. Hence there are 13 units. Sorry, 13 teams. If that is multiplied by the contribution, that is your profit. Into 13 into 1,000, this is it. So your profit has to be 13,000. If you're not sure about that, you can still work out the full formula. You can take the sales. There you have 25 teams, that is into 1,600. That is the sales. 25 into 1,600. Then you can get the variable cost. It's 600. 25 into 600 per team. This is your fixed cost. And if you work out the contribution, this is it. In fact, you could have straight away worked the things out. Contribution. And if you take the fixed cost out, fixed cost is 12,000. You can see that again, you ended up getting into the surplus of 13,000. The same answer, no? Surplus. So therefore, whatever the method that you may apply, you are supposed to get into the same end. Okay. So that is the answer for part B. Now looking at the part 3, what is that? One of the organizing committee members suggests that if they reduce the interest fee to 1,200, the participants will increase up to 30. If this is the case, so this is going to be a good decision. That's what it asks. Again, you can work out the sales, or in fact, you could have taken the contribution at a stretch. Contribution. So if you make your sales price 1,200, the variable cost is 600. So therefore, per unit contribution, it's 600. And that is into 35 units. 600 into 35, 21,000. Fixed cost 12,000. This is it. If you go by the decision, this is going to be your surplus. රේතියරනේ ගත්තොත් අපි දන්නවා අපේ contribution එක අඩු වෙනවා 1200 අඩු කරා කියන්නේ 600කට අඩු වෙනවා. එතකොට 635ක් 21000යි. fixed cost එක වෙනස් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. fixed cost එකේ විදිහමයි 12000යි. එතකොට අපිට පේනවා 9000ක් contribution එකක් තියෙන්නේ. එතකොට මේ decision එක if you make this decision you can see that there is a 4000 loss. 4000 deficit. So therefore, it's not a good decision to go with. It's not a rational decision. So it's a rational decision, right? So it's about the answer for part 3. Okay. So hope you are clear with that. If you have any question, so please feel free to raise that, and then we can discuss further on that. Right? So the question 3 is something similar to that. So therefore we believe you can work that out. We are not going to discuss, but the question number 4. Okay. So shall we have a look at the question number 4? We'll see what it is. The Sigma Limited produced 2 products, X and Y. The company's management accountant have prepared the following monthly budget. You plan to produce 5,000 units from X, 2,000 units from Y. Sales revenue is given, the variable cost is given, fixed production overhead is given, the fixed administration overhead is also given. The fixed overhead can only be avoided if neither product is manufactured. In the sense, even if you still do a single product, the fixed cost is there. The fixed cost figure නවත්තන්න පුළුවන් ක්‍රමය නම් මේ units දෙකම produce නොකර ඉන්නේ. ඒකට අපි එක unit එකක් හදුවොත් අපිට fixed cost එක තියෙනවා කියලා කියනවා. Right? Okay. Requirement: calculate the number of units to be sold of each product to reach the break even. You've been asked, this is a multi-product scenario. What is the number of units that has to be sold from each of the product to reach the break even? So the break even එක වෙන්න එක product එකෙන් හැදෙන්න ඕනේ ඒකක ප්‍රමාණය අහනවා. ඒ වගේම X scenarios දෙකක් යටතේ අහනවා. If product X alone is sold, product X එක විතරක් නම් විකුණන්නේ කොහොමද? If product X and Y are sold in the ratio of 4:1. 4ට 1 අනුපාතයට product X සහ Y කියන දෙකම විකුණුවොත් කොහොමද කියලා අහනවා. The second part is to ask us, as an alternative to the manual production process assumed in the budget, Sigma Limited has the option of adopting a computer aided process. So then අපි manual production method එකක් යන්නේ. ඒතකොට ඒක තමයි අපි දැන් consider කරලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒතකොට අපි හිතුවොත් computer aided process එකට යනවා කියලා, the process would cut variable cost of production by 10%. So if you go to a computer aided process, it will cut your variable cost by 10% and increase the fixed cost by 5,072 per month. නමුත් මාසික fixed cost එකේ වැඩිවීමක් නම් තියෙනවා. How will this affect the answer given to part A1 above? එහෙනම් ඉහත part A එකේ පළවෙනි කොටසට දුන්න answer එකේ යනුව කොහොමද වෙනස් වෙන්නේ කියලා. So this was one of the past paper questions, and see whether you can manage something of this nature. Give it a try. So would like to allow you say 10 minutes. Yeah. Take 10 minutes time and try the things out. මිනිත්තු 10ක් වගේ අරගෙන පුතාලා attempt කරලා බලන්න. Okay, good. So you have attempted that for part one. Then what about the product mix scenario? Also the alternative that is being considered. Good, appreciated. I would like more of you to attend that. Give it a try here. Okay, so shall we have a look at that? The first one, if a single product being manufactured, there it asks you the number of units, the break-even point in terms of unit. Okay, let us look at that. It's going to be question number 4, right? Is it? Yes, it's question number 4. It's break-even point in terms of units, right? We are taking the fixed cost, 32,000, 22,000 altogether. You can see the fixed cost. So here we do not make distinction whether it is manufactured or non-manufacturing. So the only criteria is whether it's a kind of cost that is fixed or variable. So accordingly, the fixed cost is 54,000. And then you are given the number of units, sales revenue, and the variable cost. So then you can identify the contribution, that is 60,000. So here you need the contribution per unit, right? So the contribution per unit comes as, it's 60,000 divided by 5,000 units. So the contribution per unit, it is 12. So consequently, if you take 54,000 divided by 12, it's 4,000 units. units of X. Units of X unit. X. If X is sold alone, in order to reach the break even, it takes 4,500 units. So this is for the A part 1. Now let's look at the part B. What is that? Again, you are supposed to come up with the break even point, but it's a multi-product scenario. Still the fixed cost would remain the same. But here, when it comes to contribution, it has to be the weighted average contribution. That's the only thing which is new. So the first one, we find out the contribution, and that's going to be, you're producing in the ratio of 4:1. Hence, so you're going to work out the weighted average contribution. So in that, you can see the first one, it gives you the contribution of 12, but once you take it as a weighted average one, it's 4 out of 5 units, 80%. And then you need to figure out the contribution of product Y. How much is the contribution? It's 80, 60, it's 20, 20 divided by 2000. 20,000 divided by 2000. It's 10 per unit. Contribution of Y, it is 10 per unit multiplied by 1 divided by 4. Sorry, 1 divided by 5. Okay, or 20%. So once we apply that, it is going to be 12 into 80% plus 10 into 20%. So consequently, there it comes 12. Right? 12 into 8% and 10 into 2%. Sorry, it's 11.6. No, sorry, 11.6 because the rounding was applied. So if you apply that, you can see 54,000 divided by 11.6. It's 4,655 units. But the question asks you not the weighted average, but the individual unit, I think, in that. If product X and Y are sold in the ratio of 4:1, calculate the number of units to be sold of each product. Okay, you are supposed to identify for each product. So here you know the product X is there, also product Y is there. If you produce 4,655 units, how many X units has to be there? Usually that is 4 divided by 5. 3,724 units, 4,655, that is into 1 divided by 5. The sales mix. This is it. 931 units of Y and 3,724 units of X. So that's about the answer. Okay. The first one 4,500, second one, this is it. So if you can produce this, that's it. The most important thing is here, if it is a multi-product scenario, you need to go by the weighted average contribution. That is the key learning over there. Right, now let's look at the second requirement. It says that you maybe think of automating the manufacturing process. Okay, so 4,655 got the video. Right, okay, let me. So here how we get that. So first you need to get the break-even point. Sorry, break-even, the fixed cost. You need to get the fixed cost. So it was given, it is 54,000. So that is your starting point. In order to get this unit, what you need to do, usually how we get, if it is a single product, it is simply the fixed cost divided by the contribution per unit. But here we have more than one unit. If that is the case, when it comes to this contribution, it has to be the weighted average contribution. And how you take that? You need to simply refer to the sales mix or the product mix. So here it says that your sales mix is when you sell 4 units from X, you sell 1 unit from Y. So that is your sales mix. If so, then the weighted average contribution is going to be contribution per unit into the sales mix. It's 10 into 1 divided by 5. So once you work out that, you ended up getting the weighted average contribution 11.6. So if you get this 54,000 divided by 11.6, it's going to be 4,655 units. And if you want to distinguish that among the individual product, what you can do, you can simply take the sales mix and get this multiplied. So that's how you do. Okay, give me 1 second. Right, so I was just in call, right? Okay, now hope you can hear. Fine. So that's about the question number 4. I think you all are now fine with that, no? Right. So let's look at the part B over there. Sorry. So it's about now you are switching to from manual system to a computer-aided one, and that will cut your variable cost by 10%. But here the question focus on much on the first part. So therefore you need to consider about product X. If that is the case, what is the variable cost of product X? So if you take the product X, variable cost, it is simply 40,000 divided by 5,000. So it's 8, the variable cost. And under the new method, it says that it will reduce your variable cost by 10%. So then it's going to be the new variable cost 90% of this. Accordingly, it's going to be 7 rupees and 20 cents. Alut variable cost. Fixed cost increase, that will increase by 5,072 fixed cost. Earlier it was 54,000. Now we are going to add 5,072. Is that? Yes. So once you get that, it's 59,072. So if you have to work out how will this affect the answer? That is about the new break-even. If you work out the new break-even, 59,072 divided by the sales price would still remains the same, and that's supposed to be. So let us look at the sales price as well. Sales price, that is 100,000 divided by 5,000. It's 20. So if you have to take the break even, it's going to be 59,072 divided by the sales price 20 minus variable cost 7 rupees and 20 cents. And this is it. Right. 4,615 units. New break. So earlier, how much was it? It was about 4,500 units of X. But this time, that has increased the break even. Your break even has been extended. Hence, it seems that the new method may not give you a kind of a favorable scenario. අපිට පේනවා අලුත් තත්ත්වය යටතේ favorable situation එකක් නෙමෙයි තියෙන්නේ. ඒකට කලින් අපි break even වුණා ඒක 4,500. හැබැයි අලුත් තත්ත්වය යටතේ අපි break even වෙන්න 4,615 units ගන්නවා. ඒ අනුව අපිට පේනවා මේ decision එක is not going to be a kind of a favorable one, because it does not have any impact on the sales price. It is still it does not have any impact on the number of sales, right? Because still the sales price is same, so it only reduce your variable cost, thereby it increase your efficiency. Though it increases your efficiency, still it increases the fixed cost. Hence, that will obviously increase your break-even point. So earlier you could break even at 4,500 units, but now you are simply become break even at 4,615. Hence, it's not a desirable situation. So you can conclude like that. Okay, it's about question number 4. So if we now move on to another question of this nature, it is question number 7. So this is going to be the last question, what we are going to be looking at for the day. So something similar to this, again, the multi-product scenario. So let us look at that. Arsene Dental Clinic offer 3 basic dental services. Following are its prices and cost. The cleaning, filling, capping. The price per unit, variable cost per unit, and the unit sold is given. Variable cost include the labor cost of dental hygienist and dentist. It talks about the variable cost. Fixed cost of rupees 400,000 per year, including building and equipment cost, marketing cost, and cost of administration. So it's about the fixed cost, 400,000. Dental clinic is subject to 30% tax rate on income. Income in the sense it is the profit. So this is a question that was adapted from a US textbook. Hence, so they would usually say that tax on income, but it's actually the tax on net income. But they say the net income means the profit. So therefore, never confuse. This is a profit on, so tax on profit. A cleaning unit is routine teeth cleaning that takes about 45 minutes. The cleaning unit එක සාමාන්‍ය විනාඩි 45ක් වගේ ගන්නවා වැඩේට. A filling unit is the work done to fill one or more cavities, right, in one session. The capping unit is the work done to put a crown on one tooth. If more than one tooth is crowned in a session, then the clinic count 1 unit per tooth. unit cost object එක වෙන්නේ එක 1 unit of capping. Filling වලත් එහෙමයි, cleaning වලත් එහෙමයි. So යම් කිසි කෙනෙක් ඇවිල්ලා crowns දෙකක් දා ගන්නවා නම් tooth දෙකක් නම් ඒක units දෙකක් විදිහට තමයි count වෙන්නේ කියලා කියනවා. Right? Then it asks you, given the above information, how much will painless dental clinics, sorry, it should be R-Series dental clinics. Because we are talking about the R-Series, should be R-Series dental clinics earn each year after tax. එතකොට අහනවා මේ තත්ත්වය තුළ වාර්ෂිකව කීයක් උපයනවද බදු පසු ලාභයක් විදිහට කීයක් උපයනවද මේ R-Series dental clinic එක කියලා. So you are given the units, you are given the contribution, even the fixed cost is there. It's a simple job. You can easily do that. Then it asks, assuming the above sales mix in the same at the break-even point, at what sales revenue does the painless dental clinic break even? අපි ගන්නවා කුමන විකුණු මට්ටමක break even එක සිද්ධ වෙනවද? Not in terms of unit, but in terms of sales revenue. Okay. අපි මේ questions එක බලමු මුලින්ම. The first one is a very easy one. You may try that out. What is the after-tax profit? And thereafter, we'll move to the next one. Okay. Right. Give it a try. So once you're done with the answer for the first one, so do let me know, then we can check that out. Okay, good. Let's see. 84,000. Okay, shall we have a look at that without taking much time? I think won't take you much time to do the first part. It's question number 7, right? I think, yeah, it's question number 7. So in part 1, it asks about the profit after tax. So here you have 3 products: product cleaning, filling, and capping. So you can take the contribution. So you can work out it's 120 minus 80. It's going to be 40 from C. That is 40 contribution per unit. And the number of units you expect to do 9,000. And filling, it's 100 into 900 units. Into 900 units. From product capping, we expect to do 100 units. Contribution is 700. So that is the contribution what you may get. So if you take the summation, that's going to be your contribution, the total contribution. It comes as 520. Total contribution. Then you can take the fixed cost. It's 400,000. Consequently, the profit before tax comes as 120. The profit before tax. So if you apply the income tax, the question had says that income tax rate was 30%. 120,000 into 30%, 36,000 tax. That is your income tax. Consequently, profit after tax you can take. Yes, you have done it very correctly. The one who has tried that, 84,000. This is your profit after tax. Okay, this is it. So if you have managed to get this, this is going to be the answer for part A. හරි. එතකොට 84000 ගත්ත නම් පුතාලා පළවෙනි පාර්ට් එකට ඒක තමයි ආන්සර් එක වෙන්න ඕන. Right. If you have any questions or doubt or whatever, please feel free to contact. So I think it's quite straightforward, right? Then let's look at the part B. Yeah. So let's look at, let's take this as the one last thing. And in the next class, we may continue the rest. So try out the part B, that's it. So part B එක attempt කරලා නවත්තමු. ඊට ටික අපි next class එකේදී කතා කරමු. Yes. Try out part B. Assuming the above sales mix in the same at the break-even point, at what sales revenue does Painless Dental Clinic break even? Okay. So it's about the sales revenue, right? So if I tell you just what you're supposed to do, you need to simply take the fixed cost divided by weighted average CS ratio. ඒක තමයි එතකොට අපිට කරන්න ඕනේ. එකපාරටම ගන්න අවශ්‍ය නම් අපිට කරන්න ඕනේ fixed cost එක divide කරන්න ඕනේ weighted average CS ratio. So therefore figure out the fixed cost. It's straightforward. It's 400,000. Now work out what is the weighted average CS ratio. That's it. CS ratio එක work out කරගන්න. Weighted average. So it's simply the weighted average sales divided by weighted average contribution divided by weighted average sales. That's it. Take 4 to 5 minutes time and figure out the answer. Then හතර පහක් කරගෙන බලන්න පුතාලා. Yeah, so when it comes to the starting of the university, I think that at least it would be the May or even in June. නැත්නම් යුනිවර්සිටි පටන් ගන්න පුතාලා May June වගේ කාලයක් වෙයි කියලා තමයි කියන්නේ. So in a recent meeting, the vice chancellor used to say that it would be we may not be able to start the university at least until May. නයිවත් වෙනකම් බැරි වෙයි කියලා තමයි vice chancellor ළඟදී තිබුණු meeting එක කිව්වේ පුතාලා. Hence the most recent time that we can expect may be June. So the online experience is not going to work, isn't it? So it's unlike here, we do understand. It's not like the way we used to do it in a physical environment. But still, we need to somehow adapt and carry out the studies in this mode of operation. Right. So let's look at the weighted average CS ratio, shall we? Okay. So you can get the sales, the price per unit is given, variable cost per unit is given. So therefore it's quite straightforward. So let's first work out the weighted average contribution. Weighted average contribution. Okay. Let's see. Okay, let me come to this assignment issue, right? Okay. Weighted average contribution. So how we work out the weighted average contribution? So there we can take the contribution from the first product. If you take that, it is going to be 40, right? It's going to be 40. And what is the weight that you're going to keep? It is according to the sales mix. The question says that your sales mix is similar to what it is given. So it's 9,000 units from cleaning, 900 units from billing, and capping 100 units. So therefore, this is your sales mix. So altogether, you have 9,000, 9,900, 10,000, 9,000 unit out of 10,000. So shall we make it little easy? So here you can see it's 9,000 units. It's 900 and 100 units. So therefore, if you can remove two zeros, you can, if you divide it by 100, you can make it 99 and 1, right? Let's make it small. Otherwise, it would be difficult for us to take it, right? Now, I think it's fine. Even if you wish, you can make it further small. If you straight away divide it by 100, it will do. Not 100, 1,000. If you divide everything by 1,000, is going to be the ratio, the sales mix. So sales mix එක මේ චුට්ටක් පොඩි කරගත්තන ලේසි පුතා. ඒ නිසා මේක divide කරා ඔක්කොම 1000. Right? Now it's fine, no? 9, 0.9 and 0.1. Okay, good. So now you can get the weighted average contribution easily. First product, it gives you the contribution 40. That is into 9 divided by 10. 9 out of 10. Plus the second product gives you 100 contribution. That is into 0.9 divided by 10. Third one, it gives you 700 contribution per unit. That is into 0.1 divided by 10. This is how we are doing. So this is your weighted average contribution. Then what about the weighted average sales? The weighted average sales, you can get 120, the first one, that is into 9 divided by 10, plus the second one, it's sales price 400, that is into 0.9 divided by 10, plus the final one, sales price 1,200 into 0.1 divided by 10. So this is it, 156. And if you take the ratio, yes, the one who has taken that earlier, you have done it very correctly, Kuta, good job. It's going to be 0.33 or simply 1/3. තුනෙන් එකක් නේද? 0.3 කියන්නේ තුනෙන් එකයි. Okay. Now you can simply work out the weighted average, break-even point in terms of sales revenue. දැන් පුතාලට ඔන්න එකපාරම මේක sales revenue එක විදියට හොයාගන්න පුළුවන් break-even point. It's 400,000 divided by 0.33. So this is going to be the break-even point in terms of sales revenue. Then අපිට තියෙනවා break-even point එක කොහොමද number of revenue විදියට. So එකපාරම අපි weighted average CS ratio එක ගත්තා, fixed cost එක divide කරා weighted average CS ratio එකෙන්, ඒ අනුව අපේ break even sales revenue එක. මේක තමයි question එකේ අහලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒතර මම ඔයාලා තව එක step එකක් අරගෙන ගිහිල්ලා අපි බැලුවොත් මේ එක එකේ product එකේ sale එක කොච්චරද කියලා. අපිට තියෙනවා products තුනක්. cleaning, filling and capping. ඒතර මේ එක එකක කොහොමද sales revenue එක වෙන වෙනම හොයාගන්නේ? මේ 1200ට contribute කරලා තියෙන විදිහ එකත් බොහොම පහසුයි පුතාලා. එතනදී අපි කරන්න ඕනේ මතක තියාගන්න මෙතන units නෙමෙයි තියෙන්නේ. එතකොට අපිට මේක simply multiply කරන්න බෑ sales mix එකකින්. ඒක sales mix වල තියෙන්නේ impact එක sales units අතර තියෙන ratio එක. නමුත් අපිට අවශ්‍ය වෙන මෙතන දැන් sales revenue එක. එතකොට මේක revenue terms වලට convert කරගන්න අවශ්‍යයි. එතකොට කොහොමද අපි මේක revenue terms වලට convert කරගන්නේ අපේ sales mix එක? එතකොට අපිට පුළුවන් ඒකක තියෙන්නේ මේ විදිහට. එතකොට මේක sales price එකකින් simply multiply කරා නම් හරි. මේක sales price එකකින් multiply කරගත්තා නම් මෙතන එක එක product cleaning, filling සහ capping අතර තියෙන මේ sales mix එක පුතාලා multiply කරන්න sales price එක. එතකොට මෙතන තියෙන sales price එක කීයක්ද? 120ක්. මේක 400යි, මේක 1200. Is that? Yes. එතකොට මේක multiply කරලා ගත්තොත් ඔන්න ඔයාලට එනවා sales revenue අතර තියෙන අනුපාතය. Right. So if you take the total, this is it. Right. එතකොට දැන් පුතාලා අපිට ratio එකක් work out කරගන්න පුළුවන් මේක එකක් අතර. එතකොට 1560ක sales වලින් 1080ක් represent කරනවා C එක. ඒ කියන්නේ ප්‍රතිශතයක් විදිහට 100ට මේ වගේ percentage එක 69%. එතකොට මෙතන 360 represent කරනවා 1560. So as a percentage it's 0.23. So here it represents 120 out of 1520. It's as a percentage 0.08. Now if you apply this ratio, that's going to be the sales revenue of each of the product. 830, 769 for product B. It's going to be this much, and this is it, 92,308. So that's going to be the sales that it is there. මේක තමයි එක එක individual sales revenue එක. And if you want to get it verified, I just need to get them verified. So let's work out the number of units over there and see whether we get into the same answer. අපි බලමු පුතාලා මෙතන අපි මේ ගත්ත answer එක මේ විදිහට හරිද කියන එක. පොඩි doubt එකක් තියෙනවා. අපි ඒක check කරලා බලමු. Sales අපි break even point එක express කරලා බලමු. break even point in terms of units. units විදිහට express කරලා බලමු, right? අපිට මේ answer එක දෙන්න පුළුවන් නම් හරියි. So how we get that? It is simply this 400,000 divided by the weighted average contribution. So it's 7,692 units. So the units විදිහට ගත්තොත් 7,692යි. So ඒක අපි products අතර බෙදාගත්තොත් CF and capping විදිහට අපිට පේනවා මෙතන අපිට ගන්න පුළුවන් 9 out of 10, 6,923 units. මෙතන ගන්න පුළුවන් අපිට filling, it's going to be 0.9 out of 10, the sales mix. And here we can get how much? It's 0.1 divided by 10 units. 77. Is that? Yeah, 0.9. Okay, 9. Right. So this is how the unit comes. So here also we can find the same, the number of units. How we can do that? Units හොයාගන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕනේ. ඒතකොට මේ units මෙන්න ඕනේ. ඒතකොට මේක අපි sales price එකෙන් divide කරොත් this is sales price එක. So it's supposed to be the number of units. 400 and 1200. Now let's divide this and see whether you are getting into the same. If so, that's the confirmation. Yes. So it suggests that what we have done is correct. උදාහරණ වෙනවා අපි කරලා තියෙන දේ හරි කියන එක. ඒතර මම මොකක්ද කරේ? ඒතර මුලින්ම break even point එක හොයාගත්තා sales revenue එකකින්. ඒතර එතනදී මම උදාහරණ වෙනවා කොහොමද අපි මේ break even point sales revenue එක individual products වල sale එකක් විදිහට පෙන්නන්නේ කියලා. individual units වල කොච්චර sale එකක් මෙතන අන්තර්ගත වෙනවද කියන කාරණාව. ඒතර එතනදී අපි මොකක්ද කරේ? අපිට නිකම්ම ගන්න බෑ sales mix එක. හේතුව මොකද? sales mix එක කියන්නේ units අතර තියෙන අනුපාතය. නමුත් මෙතන sales revenue කියන්නේ units multiplied by sales price. එතකොට අපි ratio එක විදිහට ගන්න ඕනේ මේ revenue එක බෙදා ගන්නවා නම් individual products අතර it has to be the ratio between the sales. ඒක sales අතර තියෙන අනුපාතය වෙන්න ඕනේ. එනිසා අපි මොකක්ද කරේ? We took the sales mix, get them multiplied by the sales price, and then we established the sales. And there we took the ratio between the sales revenue, this is the sales revenue, right? And this is the ratio, sales revenue ratio that we took, and we applied it, and we got the sales revenue. Then in order to obtain the sales unit, right, what you can do is, if you know the sales revenue, you can simply divide it by sales price. If you divide it by sales price, you ended up getting the sales unit. But ඒ විදිහට අපි sales unit හොයාගත්තා. නමුත් අපිට මේක තහවුරු කරගන්න ඕනේ අපි මේ ගත්ත answer එක හරිද කියලා. ඒ නිසා මම මොකක්ද කරේ? මම work out කරා break even point in terms of unit. කොහොමද ඒක ගන්නෙ? This is your fixed cost divided by the weighted average contribution. As we used to do earlier, we got it in terms of units. ඒකට අන්න අපි ඒක units විදියට ගත්තා. ඒකට units විදියට ගත්තා නම් අපිට ගන්න පුළුවන් sales mix එක. If you apply the sales mix, then you may be ended up getting the units, the individual units that includes in the break even point. So අපිට පේනවා මෙතන අපිට ආව answer එකයි මේ තියෙන answer එකයි හරි. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි work out කරලා තියෙන විදිහ හරි. So මෙතන පුතාල සැලකිලිමත් වෙන්න sales revenue එක නම් distinguish කරන්න ඕනේ. You need to take a ratio between the sales revenue. If it is the unit, just go by the sales mix. That is the most important learning outcome. If you simply try to apply the sales mix over here, the answer what you may get is going to be different. Got that point? This is something not expected in the question. The question only requires you to do this, but I went one step further and I just work out the individual unit sales revenue and also the individual units. The question is how the break even point sales revenue එක විතරයි. නමුත් අපි එක step එකක් ඉස්සරහට ගිහිල්ලා තව දේවල් ටිකක් work out කරා. Hope you are clear with that. If you have any question, you may raise that. And also you are asking about your assignment. When it comes to assignment, so සමහර වෙලාවට ඒ assignment තේරුම් ගන්න අමාරු කියලා තියෙනවා. Okay පුතා. ඒතකොට අපි මෙහෙම දෙයක් තමයි කරන්නේ බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්න පුතා. එතකොට මේක අපි group activity එකක් තමයි කරන්නේ. ඒතර මුලින්ම ඔයාලා group එකක් form කරගන්න form කරගෙන යම්කිසි එතන තියෙන topics වලින් යම් මට්ටමකට manageable topic එකක් තෝරගන්න. ඊට පස්සේ second stage එක අපි මොකක්ද කරන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ? අපි පුතාලට ඒ බෙදා ගන්න topic එක ඒ groups ටික අරගෙන අපි individually කතා කරනවා. එතකොට අපි හිතමු එතන එක group එකක් groups කිහිපයක් ඉන්නවා total quality management practices ගැන discuss කරන්න යනවා. ඒතකොට අපි තල් meeting එකක් අරගෙන brief කරනවා කොහොමද මේ වැඩේ කරන්න ඕනේ කියන එක. එතකොට අපි ආයතනයක් හොයාගෙන ඒකේ තියෙන total quality management practices බලනවා කියන එක. ඒතකොට අපි එතන පැහැදිලි කරනවා මොන වගේ දෙයක්ද අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ. ඒතකොට ඒ වගේ support එකක් දෙන්න අපි ලෑස්ති. ඒ නිසා ඒක ලොකු issue එකක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. එතකොට initially කරන්න ඕනේ දැන් දීලා තියෙන topics වලින් මොනවා හරි යම් මට්ටමකට පුතාලා ෆැමිලි topic එකක් අරගන්න group එකක් විදිහට කතා කරලා. ඊට පස්සේ අපි බලනවා ඔයාලගේ group කොහොමද topics ටික බෙදාගෙන තියෙන්නේ කියලා. ඊට පස්සේ අපි හිතමු එක group එකක් topics දෙක තුනක් අරන් තියෙනවා කියලා. එකම topic එකේ groups දෙකක් තුනක් අරන් තියෙනවා කියලා. ඒත් අපි ඔක්කොම එක තැනකට ගෙනල්ලා Zoom meeting එකකින් අපි ඔයාලට brief කරනවා මොකක්ද ඇත්තටම මේ assignment එකේ අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන දේ කියන කාරණා. ඒ නිසා ඒක අමාරු task එකක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. So immediately after you done with the grouping, we are arranging a meeting with you and we'll be briefing you how that is supposed to be done, right? So that's what we have planned. Okay, fine. Then it seems that's all what we can discuss for the day. In the next class, we may continue this. So there I saw that two parts were left, part C and D. And also the question number 8 we are supposed to discuss, and even so if you wish we can discuss question number 5 as well. After question number 5 we can discuss කරන්න පුළුවන්, and even the question number 6, whatever question that is required, we may discuss in the next class, and also the pricing tutorial as well. Okay, then with that note, let us stop for the day. So haven't you given information on that? පුතාලට කොහොමද groups ටික form කරගත්තට පස්සේ information එක මම හිතන්නේ LMS එකේ link එකක් create කරා. The course coordinator is going to create a link so where you are supposed to upload your names together with the email addresses. You are supposed to do that. So probably you may be giving more information on that. පුතාලට කොහොමද කරන්න කියන එක තොරතුරු දෙයි. ඔයාලගේ එතකොට අපිට email address එකක්, contact number එකක් සහ names ටික group list එකක් හදන්න වෙයි. ඒක හදලා ඒක අප්ලෝඩ් කරන එක ගැන information දෙන්න, right? Okay, right. Then with that note, let us stop our discussion for the day. Thank you very much.